champion select. I want to see if he's able to get that for himself, if JDG even give that to him.
Well, we'll see what that's going to be, if JD sacrifice their lane so that they can focus on the team, or if Rogue Warriors will be able to take that raw team strength against JD and win this rivalry matchup, as we've got a very early Varus and Urgot. No surprise. The only question is whether or not it's going to Mouse or Doinby, the quote-unquote top laner in the mid lane for the LPL, because he has such a unique champion, Ocean. We do see Lumau's Tom Kench banned away. That is a very strong pick for JD Gaming, and that says to me that Rogue Warriors might be looking to emphasize that bottom lane strength that they have with SMLZ and Killua.
And remember, this is 8.16, so this is the post-nerf of Tom Kench. They still value the pick, still has great lane strength, if not more, because it can be a little bit more aggressive. Refund cooldown a little bit if you can get a tongue, swallow somebody, great. That's the way that SMLZ and Killua want to play. Protective, but still lane focused. But then we see in the Urgot, you already talked about that it can go towards Doinby. It has gone to Doinby in the past. Chovy's picked it in the LCK, so it's still a great flex pick while they're on red side.
There's still a lot that Rogue Warriors have got to show us, and they are on that red side, as you said, so they can save counter pick for Doinby and flex that a little bit later. Not quite of the same tier as someone like red side Rookie, but still very effective. We do again see JD returning to the Kai'Sa Alistar. She has been the staple AD carry of the LPL for so many weeks now. Varus has been the biggest answer to that, and it's no surprise again to see that Braum follow it up, just because that wall is so good.
What I would love to see Rogue Warriors do is actually ban the Sun, because what we're seeing from JD is great aggression. They can fight. Gragas, Alistar, Headbutt Pulverize combo, Gragas Cask, excellent. One thing Sion can really do, and what we saw in Game 5, come from Zoom, is that he's able to really be the one to start the fight, to set up the Kai'Sa. In fact, Team Liquid consistently went towards the Sion pickup because it allowed the Kai'Sa to really start the fight and follow up on Sion. Sion's zoning strength is so strong, and it's a good matchup into the Urgot.
We saw the exact same thing out of JD Gaming, trying to use the Sion with Zoom to break apart Invictus Gaming, but it was unsuccessful. Rogue Warriors were able to position themselves and react in the team fights to the attempted force engages. So perhaps Rogue Warriors, maybe they don't feel afraid of that Sion. Maybe that's why they're banning away Yagao's carries on that Yasuo, on that Jace, which again, both of those can be shared by Zoom because he is such a flexible player.
And the reason for that, because Rogue Warriors just have good lane so far. I mean, Varus and Braum, great matchup versus Alistar and Kai'Sa. Don't have the range versus that. Incredibly protected here. And then Rogue Warriors, Sion, if he gets picked, sure. I said good lane for Sion simply because he can outlive it, but he's going to get pushed in. Melee, get chipped out by the passive of the Urgot. So Rogue Warriors should be happy about how the laning phase go. They should be able to have the lead, and we're going to be able to see how Flawless can make use of that now. Yeah,
on that Lee Sin, Flawless is so very happy that all of these lanes from Rogue Warriors are still looking strong, and they still haven't shown where that Urgot is going. So they've even got flexibility in that regard if they want to try to maneuver that around. But Flawless, one of the best Lee Sins in the league. We love talking about our Lee Sins here in the LPL. Now Flawless gets a chance to show it to us, as Swain is the lockup from JD. And looks like that's going towards Zoom in the top lane, as Lumau is hovering through a couple of mid laners here with the Aurelia and the Corki. And to me, it says that JD Gaming want to group up and focus on team fighting.
Yeah, it really does. And if there's one top laner that's actually still stuck on towards the Swain, when most of them have actually gone away from it, it has been Zoom. Zoom's been the top laner to say, actually, I'm going to try and contest the push on the top side of the map. And if it's going to be Swain versus Urgot, I believe he can do just that. The sustain, he has that. The countless Q procs, he's going to be able to push out. So usually the response to being able to combat the early game pressure from Urgot has been AP top laners like Rise. And I think Swain's going to be able to get the job done. We'll have to see. We haven't seen the matchup just yet because Urgot's only just recently popped up.
Yeah, we now see the Ornn being hovered by Mouse, so that Swain should be pretty happy in the top lane just to catch CS, as long as Zoom doesn't make any silly overextensions, pushing the wave with that Eldritch Blast, because, like we said, it comes back to Flawless, which lane he decides to affect. And while top might not be just a hard winning lane, because it is the Ornn versus Swain, that will push in, and that does provide an opening for Flawless to try to get up there. And even the mid lane with Doinby on that Urgot.
They just all have great entrances for Lee Sin. Go top lane, you have the CC, and a little bit of the base damage is going to be able to get the job done if they go on towards Swain. But I love the mid lane. because the Urgot pick going into Irelia really has to be in melee range. Urgot can set up for the gank so easily, has the damage to follow up, and has the base stats to outduel the Irelia. So it's going to be tough here coming in from JD. I want to see what Yagao can do with the Irelia early on, knowing that Lee Sin's got your eye on him.
And again, it is Yagao, the replacement for Doinby, taking on the former mid laner of JD Gaming, now playing for Rogue Warriors, as this is the battle for third, fourth place. This is the culmination of the entire 2018 year about to happen on the Rift before us. But even more than that, it's the personal pride matchup between these two, because if I remember correctly, it was the last game that JD played in Spring Split 2018 against Rogue Warriors, in which they upset, that ignited their fire, that brought them into the summer with all the momentum they needed to make it into playoffs.
100%. Remember, Rogue Warriors coming into the summer split had a lot to prove. That's what Doinby said in interviews, because they were losing so consistently, including the Demacia Cup. So that started with that JD set. And so coming into this one, I feel like when we focus in on the personal goals, a lot of these players, Doinby, a lot of fire. He wants to be able to prove people wrong and also just get that ticket to Worlds. But Yagao, who's been trying to fill the shoes of Doinby, and I believe he's done just that. It's his rookie season, by the way. So for him to come in with such high expectations to fill the shoes of Doinby, people are coming out and say, hey, you're actually doing just that.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job, but he's got to be able to complete it. If he completes the run, usurps Doinby when it matters, then he already starts his career on a ridiculous path.
And that begs the question, will Yagao just try to fill the shoes and match the successor Doinby, or will he make a name for himself, get his own pair of boots, as we load onto the Rift for this Game 1 between Rogue Warriors and JD Gaming. Such a new organization to the LPL. RW only been in here for a year, and already the fans are so vocal. What's not to like when you've got such an emotional player like Doinby sitting right next to the stone-faced king himself of SMLZ?
There we go. I mean, the player's power is really what draw them into Rogue Warriors. Looking out into the crowds, you saw the countless SMLZ posters. You see the numerous Doinby fans, and they all carried over with them. So the players leaving their respective organizations, the fans did as well.
And all of that fan power might be enough to give Rogue Warriors the momentum they need to close out this set and lock down third place. Of course, Doinby dyeing his hair yellow as he did when he was with Chaogu Reapers in 2015 summer, where they went all the way to the grand finals and ended up losing. He tried to mimic that this year by, again, dyeing his hair, trying to chase down finals. Wasn't able to get it, but might be looking at the prize just beyond that, as Worlds is on the horizon for this team. Just needs to close out this set today and win one more best of 5 in just a few days to advance to the World Finals. But already we've loaded onto the Rift here as JD and Rogue Warriors are heading into their standard lanes, and as expected, mid and bottom going well for RW.
There may be standard lanes, but there are not a lot of standard rune pages. So I'm just going to talk about the runes immediately. What they just showcased was Swain actually picking up the gold accruing in the inspiration tree. The fact that he's gone towards that is actually incredible. He is the range matchup, so he's actually just going to be trying to scale in here. Auto attack frequently, so he can actually get the sack of gold, which he's doing. He even has, I believe, it's stopwatch and the extra push that he gets from...
Actually got 2 stopwatches.
Oh, there we go. No. That's the first stop.
One from Clid as well.
Oh, yeah, you're right. From JD's side, yeah, they definitely have stopwatches.
Things already starting to look pretty good for Zoom if he's going to try to collect as much gold as he can. Loken, meanwhile, he's been struggling a little bit down here in the bottom lane as it's been pushing in, and I think this is one of the bigger surprises of the LPL playoffs. Loken was never really in contention for one of the best AD carries in the league, but his performance over the past few sets against EDG, against FPX, have really let him make a name for himself.
Yeah, a lot of confidence in his play. Laning phase, a lot of the time people look at his laning phase and say, well, he's not doing anything in lane. He's trying to scale up A lot of times they bring in even like a Zillion at times and try and get to a late game phase. Laning phase during the playoffs has actually been remarkable, going up against iBoy and Mako and being able to just get 2v2 kills there. And then when they find themselves outside of laning phase, post 15 minutes, he's able to really help out Zoom in side lane when he gets the Kaisa. So a lot of it is just eyes on him because he's actually playing incredibly well. His positioning has been fantastic, and it's just about being able to come into these pressure situations and come out with a W.
And a lot of that has given a lot of steam towards JD Gaming, knowing that they can rely on that late game hyper carry of Loken because his lane performance has stepped up so much. They're able to send Clid to the top lane, for example, like we just saw, defending Zoom as he tried to push that wave into the turret. Flawless was right there. If Flawless had looked for a gank on the Swain, that almost certainly would have been a flash burn, but it doesn't happen, and the two junglers just head back, allowing Zoom to continue to push into Mouse.
The sustained damage, if there's ever a 2v2, both mid lane and top lane, will go towards Rogue Warriors. You can already see Flawless is sticking around here just in case if there's a Gragas barrel. And remember, this is going to be the setup.
That's the slow. Disdain misses from Doinby, and the long-range stun on the Flawless. Yagao happy to burn that mana to make it happen, but Flash knock up onto SMLZ. He's knocked backwards, and first blood, JD Gaming.
All right, making it happen. Getting the Flash across the... at least to be able to get the kill on towards SMLZ. If there's one lane to pick apart going up against Rogue Warriors, it has been the bottom lane. And just recognizing that Flawless was near the mid lane gave him the go-ahead to start the fight. So well done being able to lock down SMLZ.
And Clid is able to affect a gank a little bit faster than Flawless. Now Zoom is being pushed away from his turret here. I'm not 100% certain if he saw Flawless. There is a ward in the tri-bush up top, but he's walking up to the minion wave. Mouse is literally buying an item in front of him, pulled onto the turret. There's a teleport from Doinby, a matching teleport being activated by Loken to try and deny this, and it is completed. In fact, Yagao is the one who shows up as Loken cancels, and the dive is denied to Rogue Warriors.
Smart completion of the teleport from Yagao, because if he just canceled it and said, oh, I'm taking experience mid lane, issue is there are 3 people top lane and a crashing wave that would have certainly been a dive on towards Zoom. He doesn't have any mana to defend himself. So recognizing that he needs to play for the team. That being said, they might have an opportunity here.
Yeah, this is looking a bit risky for JD. They step back into the river. It's the 2v2, the mid-jungle versus mid-jungle, but Mouse with an earlier push is able to clear out top lane and roam down, making it an technically 3v2, but JD decide not to take the fight and back away instead.
Flawless hasn't taken a camp in some time, so he didn't have the strength of the Dark Harvest. So he would have actually been susceptible to a fight there in that situation if the body slam came through. So remember, he does have Dark Harvest. It's 8.16, so Electrocute did get nerfed for junglers. You don't get the beef out of it. Post 8, level 8, you actually just get more damage coming out of Dark Harvest. But the issue is if you don't have 150 souls, it just runs out so quickly, about 20 seconds. So if you just take your camp and come for a gank, great, you have the stack. Otherwise, you're just dealing 0 damage towards your runes. So that's the issue that you have. It's nice for scaling, but when it comes to just the early skirmishes, it has no power.
Now Clid with Predator is racing top while Rogue Warriors are trying to set up a gank bottom. That's a flash from Mouse.
Ooh.
He gets pulled back in by the Never Move. There's another snare. Call of the Forge God as Zoom just auto-attacks, shields, installs it out the knock-up, and Mouse gets the outplay, finding himself a kill as he goes down.
Just in reach of the tower. Really well done from Mouse, because he just wanted the shield, honestly. He wanted to protect himself, knowing that we're going to be in kill range. But he gets the shield, gets the knock-up just in tower's range, and is able to trade the kill.
And very clear focus from Clid on that top lane means that bottom is left undefended. Rogue Warriors push in both top and mid and swing towards the Infernal Dragon, taking it down. Not a team to be outdone.
It's been the strength of Rogue Warriors. It's been the strength of Mouse, honestly. He's been known as the top laner that soaks in the most ganks, soaks in a lot of pressure when he was on EDG, and he was on Rogue Warriors. Being in this situation, being able to outplay it, right when the tower locked on him, CC up in the air, Clid gets taken down, and all eyes because Rogue Warriors are able to make the bottom lane fight happen.
Oh, there's another gank bottom from JD Gaming as Clid is non-stop maneuvering around these lanes, trying to set up JD's powerful carries in Zoom and Loken. And as we said, Mouse pulling Zoom and Clid in. It should be noted, Zoom had his ultimate that entire time, decided to hold on to it until after Mouse died to clear the wave and push it in, to try to get more of a snowball in that top lane, but it's still only about a 7 CS advantage up there, as Clid did die over to Mouse. Meanwhile, Rogue Warriors still patrolling the bottom half of the map. They already took the dragon, they're controlling the river, they just passed blue buff over to Doinby. Rogue Warriors are happy to allow top lane to fall slightly behind because it's an Ornn. He's going to become a tank eventually. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's going to be rough, honestly, at the top lane. At this point, Clid should actually be just focusing on the bottom side of the map. How long it would take topside. That being said, here we go.
He's going straight in and forces the fight. Doesn't even wait for it. That's over the wall. Loken finds himself a kill, and Doinby on top of Vision gets left to die. His own former ally is the one who slays him.
Just didn't see the ward getting placed in that bush, and it allowed for JDG to immediately just get the jump on him. Flawless. Really perfectly played to get the kill on him. No reaction time. Wasn't able to use his flash in that situation, so made it work really well because that was actually a pretty difficult position for JDG to be in, knowing that both Doinby and Flawless were actually eyeing the bottom lane.
And now we've got to come back to the question that we posed in the beginning for Rogue Warriors. They've got some strong lanes that Flawless can look to gank in Doinby, in SMLZ, and Killua. They've tried to dive bottom now twice by roaming in through the jungle, but got caught on both rotations. And with these kills, that's a 3-0 Kai'Sa. I don't think this is how Rogue Warriors wanted that laning phase to be going.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Absolutely not. At this point, it's just JDG having complete confidence in Condi's ability to just get the counter gank, play incredibly defensively. It hasn't been a strength in the past, but it most certainly is in the playoffs, in the summer regular season as well. Remember, up against Ning, counter ganking him every damn time. Here comes a flash.
Luma! Right over the wall. No Hex Flash, just in case he could catch Doinby, who's sitting on Flash and Ghost, just to zone him away. No hesitation from JD Gaming. And I don't know if you heard yourself there. Maybe I misheard myself, but you said Condi. That was the previous jungler that Coach Ohm was the coach for with Team WE. Clid is now showing some very similar signs to what was Condi's playstyle when WE went to Worlds.
Yeah, definitely very similar in how defensively he's been able to help his lanes out in scaling compositions and positions in which they would be like, all right, enemy jungler, Flawless, last time it was Ning, should be able to snowball these lanes. Hasn't been true. These defensive wards have actually been really well placed. And so Doinby, in this situation, against other teams, would have been able to be in bottom lane by now. But he's caught in these wards, so Yagao would be in position, and Clid's already there. So for now, JDG have been doing phenomenally, just because, as you mentioned, the coaching staff has been strong for the squad. But Clid has just been on fire during the playoffs.
Yeah, 0-1-4 right now. He's his team's only death, but he's also been involved in every single kill. All three down in that bottom lane and the other one up top. But now he's looking to head right back down there. He's got himself the cask and flash, just trying to dodge this vision, but Rogue Warriors bottom lane does not take the bait. They step back and just try to sit on that CS advantage, up to about 13 now.
And the top lane's play is actually going to be indicative of what happens bottom lane. For Swain, he needs to base because he doesn't know where Flawless is. Flawless is in the top side of the map, could easily turn into a dive if he tries to be greedy. Also, if the Flawless was bottom lane in that situation, then you're in a place where Zoom doesn't want to teleport. He's going to have teleport soon, but if he was in a position where he's half HP, no mana, then Ornn would have priority in that situation. So with those top lane trades happening, sure, it's out of the audience's mind, but it's certainly in the mind of the TP playmakers of Mouse. And I guess Doinby if he ends up roaming towards the bottom lane.
They're currently trying to track that timer as much as they can because in 90 seconds the Infernal Dragon is up. Rift Herald has spawned, and Rogue Warriors is a team that thrives on momentum. They need to pick up at least a little bit of steam before they can really get the ball rolling. The opposite to that is if they get put so far behind that there's no chance that they can win. That's also a situation where they find that internal momentum. But that's not a situation that you want to be in.
You don't want to be in it, but you're going to be pushed into that position. Remember, we saw the team stats. JDG is a team that actually heavily focused on these objectives.
Yeah.
They're the team that's actually taken the most Cloud Dragons out of everybody. So 100%, they see an Infernal Dragon, they're going to be warding it up. They may not be in position to actually take it now, but you see how Gragas has just been religiously on the bottom side for the past 5 minutes. He's going to have it there defensively. And any opening that he gets, we saw what happened last play when they were able to get the kill on Flawless. If it happens now, they're 100% going to be able to get the Dragon. Now,
they're even getting their recall timings to prepare for this, as Guinsoo's has been picked up. We've already got the Cinder Hulk finished on Clid. Zoom has completed his Rod of Ages, which is still stacking up. The last question of the equation is Yagao. He's looking for that Triforce, currently sitting on 2 of the 3 components that he needs and is actually roaming bottom right now. Might not have enough gold as he's hovering just behind the pit. And right now, Rogue Warriors control the river, so they're able to get into the pit a little bit easier from that red side. But JD are ready to fight for this.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to use this Dragon, because there's an opportunity where they can just sneak it. I mean, it looks like that's what they're trying to do here. Oh, unless if they're trying to push
over
Flawless
the
out.
wall, yeah. Lumao's happy to take a few of these hits. Klid is zoning Doinby away as he tries to make his way around. Teleport's available for both top laners.
But very respectful. At this point, actually, Flawless just outright starting it. You'd expect the skirmish to happen.
Now, Loken is still catching the wave bottom. He's got to group up with his team, but they are on the far side of this. That's double teleport. Dragon being started, and that's going to be the Dragon picked up by Rogue Warriors. Klid goes in. They manage to find Doinby. He's locked down. Loken trying to get in on the side. Leaps over the wall. Doinby's his target, but that's a stopwatch. Loken trying to outplay this, but they manage to kill Lumao. Zoom gets in, and that's Klid finding the first kill onto Doinby. Mouse goes low, leaps out of it. Yagao chases him down with a blade surge, and Loken continues to fire across. Klid uses his stopwatch as SMLZ with his flash trying to run. Leaps away, but Loken's on the follow for a double kill. It's 8 kills to 2 JD Gaming.
That was just so well played from Loken. Loken actually found himself in a great position behind his team, inside the pit. There is no way from Rogue Warriors to be able to snatch him, so they just decided to take the first available person using their Urgot ulti. Issue was, when they did do it, front to back, JD are going to be able to take you, and he came out cleaning up.
Not only is that the team fight win for JD Gaming, it's also looking to be first brick for Loken. 600 bonus gold on that AP Kaisa that he's played so very often. Things are looking good for JD. And that was, again, a very clear set play from the team. This is the strategy that has made them so strong towards the last few weeks.
So just take a look at this, because they're going to be easily able to get the Dragon. That's not an issue. There's no Loken here just yet. But they go and get a focus onto Lumao. Lumao just takes it. He actually gets ultimated by Urgot. So yeah, sure, Alistar is down, but that's the support. Loken is free-firing. Klid is in position to start another play on towards SMLZ, so he has to run away.
Meanwhile, this is going on. You can see a dive onto Mouse in the top lane as JD Gaming. You said it yourself in the pregame. They don't just take the kills. They take the objectives behind the kills. They weren't able to get that Dragon, which is now 2 Infernals to Rogue Warriors, but now they rotate top and are taking the top tier 1. So that's already 2 outers down. And Raz, 16 minutes into the game, it's a 5,000 gold lead for JD Gaming, and they're chasing down Flawless now. The blade surge, and even Loken gets passed over the kill. 6-0-3. Rogue Warriors look like they are completely turned off today.
Yeah, Rogue Warriors, a few of them, I'd say Flawless in the weak side of the map, definitely a critique you can make, but JDG can take advantage of that, and that's what they've done versus EDG when they were playing topside around Rift Trail, that one fight, if you remember, up against EDG. A few times challenging Invictus Gaming throughout the set, saying you actually have to fight the proper side of the map, or we will be there and we will be looking. This time around, once again, they actually had priority going top lane. Bottom lane was getting pushed fairly slowly. SMLZ was in the bottom lane, so it's like, okay, you're trading sides, but you better be top side to defend it. It was just unfortunate that Flawless was actually just trying to farm up Raptors in the meanwhile.
And this is so interesting from Rogue Warriors to see them try to match JD Gaming head on in this way. Traditionally, Rogue Warriors is the snowball team, the momentum, the freight train. Once they pick up a little bit of speed, they will just run you down. But trying to match JD Gaming in these set plays, in these rotations, is clearly not working out for them, as JD are happy to maneuver around the map and just take kill after kill, objective after objective. Still, though, things are going to slow down just a little bit. Loken's at his 2-item spike, but it's going to be a little bit tougher to break down this mid-tier 1.
It depends on what their next call is, because Rogue Warriors definitely want to slow it down. At this point in time, SMLZ is nowhere even close to his 2nd item. But Loken would love for a fight to start 6-0-3, Rift Trail being placed down.
They
that
also
is
got
their
the Rift
objective.
Herald. Yeah, rushing down the mid lane. They found Mouse again. Loken dashes in, lands the plasma, but he's not able to follow it up. Now SMLZ and Killua are holding the wave as Shelly is distracted by the minions. That buys enough time for Rogue Warriors to group up, but there's already some damage onto the turret.
Here we go.
JD just engaged for the dive. Loom out with the knockup, but that's Loken getting separated. Zoom, he's going to body block for him as he pops Demonic Ascension. Dive into the back line. The turret is down. Shelly has fallen, but still, Zoom flashes forward with Yagao. They managed to find the kill on the Flawless. SMLZ and Mouse, a 2-man knockup as JD Gaming are obliterating Rogue Warriors.
A clean sweep. Great 2-man headbutt pulverize coming in Lumao to just finish it off. But at that point, Rogue Warriors tried to plant their ground and say that you can't get past this 2nd tower, at least the 2nd tower. We're going to hold firm. But JDG completely smashed him, and I think it all started off with Klid. Klid being able to get the body slam into it, blows up Flawless, and then 5 soul fragments being picked up by Swain, which is incredibly important because at that point, SMLZ can't do anything. Take a look at the damage being done on towards SMLZ and Doinb by the time Flawless is down. There's no way for them to be able to get out of it. They pick off SMLZ and completely force Doinb back.
And one kill to the next, to the next, to the next, just running it down like a series of dominoes. Rogue Warriors are falling apart.
And that's what's the threat now if you're going up against JD's composition. Because we said that the weakness was just in their laning phase, but that's completely like
gone and done. Yeah,
they had that 5K goal lead. It's like, wait a second, well, what's their weakness now? Issue for going up against JD is that they have great 1-3-1. You can send Yagao in the side lane, and you can just outright fight. So many points of engage off the Gragas, the Swain if he can get a pick off, the Alistar from Lumao, and Kai'Sa is going to be able to immediately follow up, and that's what Loken's been doing.
And now we've got to set the stakes for what's next, because like you said a little bit earlier, Rogue Warriors, they want to try to slow the game down a bit. Well, JD haven't really given them a chance. That's the mid-tier 1 and the tier 2 gone. Ocean Dragon is up in 30 seconds, and Baron is up in 20. Rogue Warriors might not get a chance to slow this game.
That's because JD has been a team that's actually been incredibly good, them and Invictus Gaming, at creating their own objectives. So when you say, oh, 3 outer turrets down, game should slow down because it's so early and Baron has not been an issue. Well, they're a team that actually accelerates it around dragons no matter what it is. Blue buffs, red buffs, no matter where you are. And they just say that we're actually going to keep moving forward and keep moving the goalpost. Rogue Warriors have to stop them at some point.
Now they're grouped as 4 under the bottom tier 2. SMLZ is there, so it is a 4 versus 4, but Yagao is flanking on the side as he pushes a minion wave up mid. Rogue Warriors need to choose what they have to defend here.
There needs to be a ward place right where Lumao is. He has Hex Flash at this point, so he can still actually make the play on a dive. With how they're doing right now, and he has his ultimate prime, he can just go for it, so Rogue Warriors can't sit under this tower.
Yeah, they just back away without that vision of Lumao. Rogue Warriors decide to recall and give up the bottom tier 2. There's only a single tier 2 remaining in the top lane. Yagao's already heading up there to prep that wave, but that's also the Baron side of the map. If Rogue Warriors give up too much more ground, JD Gaming are going to be happy to snowball this even harder.
And that's the issue. Rogue Warriors need to start thinking a few steps ahead now because JD's been in the bot side for such a long time playing around dragons and blue buffs that the vision for Rogue Warriors has actually been pretty much catered to the bottom side of the map as well. They have 2 control wards top side, but nothing having eyes on the Baron. You can already see where Flawless is heading to get at least 1 ward on it because that's going to be the next play.
Already, Lumao is on the way to try and deny that vision to both Flawless and Killua, but it is going to take a concentrated team effort because JD Gaming have shown no hesitation in going in for these plays.
And Coach O must feel proud. Take a look at this.
Oh, yeah.
4 control wards on each member. The only one, Dirty Loken with the Doran's ring. All right, just putting that out there.
Sell the Doran's ring, buy control wards.
But with that being said, he's in a real comfortable position.
Yep.
He has himself the QSS that he bought real early on. So if Rogue Warriors ever find a pick, he's going to be able to get out of that. And I'm just talking about Varus throwing out his ultimate. Or even if the slow comes through from Mouse initially off of his ulti, Loken is in a real comfortable place. It's actually going to be difficult to touch him.
He is wildly accelerated. Guinsoo's in the Nashor's Tooth completed a while ago, as we said, the QSS, and he's going for a Rabadon's next. If he snowballs much harder, this is going to turn into an avalanche.
That just goes to show how confident he is that he's not going to get picked. Because some people, they're incredibly set. They'll say, okay, I'm going AP build. Why not go Zhonya's?
Yeah.
Why not have the stopwatch into Zhonya's for my build? But for him, he's saying that, actually...
No, we're going in. We're going forward.
It's not happening. I am the damage for my team. I have so many frontliners. Who's going to even touch me?
And that's just the Kai'Sa. You've also got to look at the Swain, who's sitting at 2.5 items, looking towards a Leandri's third. Triforce and Sterix finished for Yagao. Some tanky items on the way for both Lumao and Clid. Now they're sweeping out vision and engaging in the Baron dance. This historically has been a weakness for JD Gaming. In Spring Split, Baron was one of their worst objectives. But now in Summer, under the guidance of Coach Ohm, they're putting Rogue Warriors on the fence with how they're maneuvering around this vision. That's the trinket used. No more blues are left, and it's do or die time for Rogue Warriors. They've got to move in and try to sweep this out.
And it's hard because take a look at what they see. They see, sure, Zoom coming in, but they don't see this.
Yeah, Clid manages to get behind them. Mouse is caught out. Loken looks to find him, lands the plasma. Visions of Empire, knock up the stall out, but there's no turret to fall down. And that's JD chasing it forward. They find the kill onto Mouse. They're finding the kill onto Doinb. And Rogue Warriors, they're trying to turn this around, looking for anything, but Zoom is chasing up. He's got the flash. That's the Demon Flare. Flashes in, but the snare gets the kill. Yagao locks it down. SMLZ is dead. Who needs the Baron when you can dive the Nexus?
This might be a call out to what happens in the Gauntlet tournament. JD look on fire right now.
And this is now looking at the inhibitor, JD Gaming. They've taken 4. It's not the ace. Flawless has got Smite, but one man against an army. Can he try to stall this out long enough for SMLZ and Doinby to get back in? Because this is a big minion wave. Oh, but JD Gaming, take it safe. Look for one more recall.
JD of 2 days ago would have taken that fight.
Oh, yeah.
But they remember how close that series was. And they know how much it could just be taken away from them. So in that position, 18 seconds until SMLZ comes up, a few teams will try and go for the end game with how many engage options that they have. But they're saying, okay, we are in a good spot. Don't mess this up. This is how creative they are. Base timing coming in from Varus, he's gone. And so they play around this red side jungle so well. Clid just sneaks up behind them. And Loken comes in at such a comfortable flank. JD are such a damn good team when it comes around playing towards the red side jungle.
Just maneuvering around the vision of Rogue Warriors and forcing these fights using exactly the resources that they need to get one kill after the next, not over-indexing. They've still got teleport on 3 members, and with the bottom inhib down, they can split push to their heart's content if they don't want to just group up and force the fight again.
And that's what's telling about their team stuff. You teams would just say, well, why not just send Yagao bottom lane?
Yeah.
Why not just play it safely, play it slow? There's nothing really that can go wrong here. But JD's the type of team to say, okay, well, yeah, sure, but we can just fight them. We're already snowballing. That's why their average game times are so low. They're a team that will just, if they get a lead, they'll fight. If they find themselves in a deficit, they're not going to bleed. They're just going to fight. So they're a squad that knows exactly how they're going to use their advantage, and this is how it is going to go.
That's Loken teleporting in. He's got his Rabadons completed. BF Sword is also finished off for Yagao as they found Killua looking for vision. He's forced to leap away, but at half health, that support is in trouble, and super minions are about to start battering onto the Nexus turrets.
They should be on the Baron at this point. I think they've done a great job at pushing Rogue Warriors back. They have AP Kai'Sa with the Rabadons completed. That passive is going to be shredding Baron at this point.
Oh yeah, now they're maneuvering back, sweeping out the vision, perhaps trying to force somebody back in. Mouse on that Ornn, doing everything he can to slow the minion wave, but he can only do so much. Now Baron being engaged by JD, both Clid and Yagao zoning Doinby and Flawless. Mid-jungle versus mid-jungle, and the Baron has been finished off. The blue trinket spots it out, but there's nothing Rogue Warriors can do. 13,500 gold, 26 minutes into the game, an average of 500 more gold per minute than Rogue Warriors.
This is just the worst kind of breaking and entering. Not only did they break into your house, but they just closed every window available. They're just saying, well, actually, they're not going to keep it nice and breezy.
Oh, man, they found Doinby. He's so tanky, but can't do anything against the Kai'Sa. Flawless tries to shield him, but that's the Vanguard's edge. Under the turret, they found SMLZ. Clid is going to be stunned and locked down, though. Will he die? It doesn't look like that's the case, as JD are just forcing the fight on the other side. There is no backline anymore. Doinby is running away from Yagao, as Yagao is saying, hey, yes, I replaced you on JD. I'm not trying to fill your shoes. I'm trying to make a name for myself. As JD Gaming turn onto the Nexus, 27 minutes in, 22 kills to 2, and absolutely smash game 1.
That's how you started off, on the same stage that you took Invictus game in a 5. This is going to be a series that Rogue Warriors need to come back from. They don't want to go into the Gauntlet tournament. They don't want to be known as a team that, yeah, consistent, but gets overlapped, overtaken. The red shell has to be stopped.
And this team absolutely is the red shell. Hell, we might just start calling them the blue shell, because they are chasing from barely entering the playoffs into spring into a very swift game 1 victory over Rogue Warriors, 26 minutes and 50 seconds in. Absolutely dissecting Rogue Warriors.
Yes. And I think this is a fun series, not just because of how quickly it is, but now Rogue Warriors are being challenged if the decisions they're making are actually the right ones, because it really did open up by that dragon fight. The first dragon fight, when it was an Infernal Dragon, Rogue Warriors were willing to fight. But whether it was the right call or if they were in a good position, finally challenged, and that's what's really gotten them to the point that they are in the regular season. But now they have to really second-guess those calls.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, if JD are taking fights like that,
yes,
where it looks like things are looking so good for Rogue Warriors, and then JD flank from 2 directions and turn it around, you've really got to start scratching your head. We have to contrast the style of Rogue Warriors throughout the regular season versus the game that we just saw from Rogue Warriors here. When they played against RNG, the emotion, the momentum from Rogue Warriors was doused by Uzi. That fire was just had a bucket of water put over it. And if this game 1 is any indicator, it's still just smoldering coals. There's no heat left from Rogue Warriors.
So let's talk about that one fight where it just started getting doused again.
Yeah, at the dragon,
where the fire just wasn't there. So that dragon fight, once again, they get the Infernal Dragon, so they're already on sky high, and they found their prime target in Alistar. Issue is, JD's already repositioned. Loken's already being able to deal with your frontliner here, so Killua needs to back up in a way. You're seeing Mouse already getting shredded so quickly. He's on the orange, so he believes he can actually stay in the fight a little bit longer, but gets assassinated by Yagao. And the rest of JD can chase you down because they weren't even touched. And so that's the issue here. Rogue Warriors feel confident with the fight because the initial portion of it was actually pretty good. They get the Alistar and they get the Dragon. But then they realized that they just didn't have an exit strategy.
And it was a good play to try to start the fire, at least a little bit of flint and tinder to try to ignite things. But when the flint and tinder just gets batted out of your hands by JD Gaming, you got to start looking for a matchbook, Rogue Warriors, because if you continue to play like that for the rest of the series, it could very well be a fast day. Because JD Gaming, again, this is a miracle run for the team. This is JD Gaming coming into summer and entering the conversation of top 4 in the entire league by defeating Edward Gaming, now looking like they might be able to defeat even Rogue Warriors. We've got that final team fight to show for you that just shows what makes them so strong is that when they take one thing, they don't just take one kill and leave. They don't just take the turret and leave. They take everything they can.
This was just a straight parade. Taking one tower, and when they find a core weakness, they just keep going. Finding picks across picks. And here's the thing, the beautiful thing about the Swain here for Zoom, is that every single time his E was actually off a cooldown, able to find another pick. Was doing so well for himself. So while that may not be the final fight, it definitely felt like it.
Yeah.
Because by that point, it's actually just Rogue Warriors scratching their head trying to figure out how to actually get back into the game. They don't have real, wave clear options. They don't have a split push option because that window's also been closed. So they try and just look for that one opportunity around Baron. But that also was doused because I felt like JD, we were actually just playing around that so well.
Yeah, well, our MVP goes to Clid, who helped set up around that Baron with the vision. He controlled the early game in such a dominating fashion. He was such a huge force in these team fights on a Gragas of all champions that there was nothing Rogue Warriors or Flawless even could do to try and contest that.
Yeah, nothing you can really put in a highlight reel, just the picture-perfect smart plays. Counter ganks he was able to get, also just protecting bottom lane. There's that one time when Urgot and Lee Sin were actually moving towards the bottom lane for a play on towards the dive, but then there's a nice ward there, and guess who was there to take and opportunize on that? It was the Gragas. So ultimately, Clid played it super well for what is a very defensive pick in the matchup. And so later on in the game, when they were actually just rolling them down, he turned into an engage pick. Round the topside, red side jungle fight, he just circles round to start the fight.
Yeah, how did he get behind Rogue Warriors there?
That's one of the beauty of just having complete control of the red side jungle. A lot of teams won't be that creative to actually find a window. They'll just stay around there, maybe turn into a 50-50 on Baron, but they realize they have so many engage options, one in Clid. So he's like, let me just actually start it. I have a cask ready for them. They just won't see it coming.
And that's so wacky when you look at the fact that that was on blue side that they were able to play around red side jungle. So many teams have been prioritizing red side, not only for counter pick, because of how it lets them control that side of the jungle once they manage to step out of that laning phase. But JD showed that, hey, even when we're on the quote-unquote less dominant side, we're still able to push in and take an advantage. This is some straight-up discipline that we're seeing out of JD Gaming in that Game 1 victory. That said, though, we've still got Game 2 coming at you. We'll have to see if Rogue Warriors can bring it right back as we go ahead and take a quick break and get ready for that next match.